Easy transition to right tackle.
Here's the thing that bothers me. I mean, just reading a little bit on him, it says he's tough, but he needs to get stronger. I mean, in this league, at that position, you have to be physical.
And he has not been physical so far in the NFL. Disastrous training camp, disastrous preseason. Guys, you talked me off the ledge the first time. How do we feel today?
Jump! Yeah. You've heard of who's on first, who's at left tackle.
I told the story earlier
That's
today.
hilarious.
So Floyd and I started working here in April of 2015. And so in 2015, we were doing a show together, and we had never worked together before, like ever done a show. So we're just sitting there, and I'm trying to make small talk. I go, Floyd, the Titans going to be good this year? And this was the year that Wisenhunt got fired in the middle of the season. And he looks at me and he goes, we don't have a right tackle. And I'm like, that's pretty important, huh? He's like, right tackle? Yes. Well, the Titans haven't had a right tackle all year. But now they don't even have a left tackle today. And the 49ers have one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL in Nick Bosa.
And they're still
Nick
win.
Bosa, he'll be the guy. You can tell that he's the guy salivating during the pregame because it doesn't matter who he goes up against.
Right.
If it's Quessenberry, they're going to help him. And obviously, Radens is going to need some, or anybody else, John DeLorean or whoever that guy is.
Christian DeLorio.
No, okay, I know who it is. Christian DeLorio is going to need some help tonight. And Tannehill, I guarantee you, a lot of three-step drop tonight, don't you think, Chris?
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be wild. I mean, even though y'all went through that whole scenario, left tackle out, left guard out, bad offense, bad quarterback play, they're still going to win the game. And the reason why they're still going to win the game is because this team is built for these moments. I know we've been talking about it all week, but when you have a team that's coming in, say like the Rams, when everybody saying they were hot at that time, they hit them in the mouth 28-16. The Bills had a hot quarterback at that same time. They beat them 34-31. So even though the odds are against the Tennessee Titans, I just still have that gut feeling that Mike Vrabel is going to come up with something special. And I don't know what it is, but he's just built for that. So if your head coach is not afraid of adversity, then the team is going to follow him and not be afraid of adversity.
In all seriousness, the easiest thing for an offensive lineman is to run block.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The one thing the Titans did last week, they ran the ball pretty effectively against the Steelers. Foreman was over 100 yards. Hilliard got to almost 50. And even McNichols averaged almost 4 yards a carry. Now, they're going up against a whole different animal this time around. San Francisco is ranked second against the run in the league. So it's going to be a little tougher. But the Titans, the Titans are going to start throwing on first down. But with A.J. and Julio Jones out there, you can max protect and maybe you're able to make some plays downfield.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think this doesn't really fall on the players. I think this falls on Todd Downing. And the reason why I say that is he's got to make sure he put these guys in position to be successful.
Yeah.
The left tackle's out. The right tackle struggling a little bit with Quisenberry. You got to go and you got to get in personnel to protect those guys. Go in 12 personnel, one back, two tight ends, and two wide receivers to protect those guys because you better believe Bosa and those guys are licking their chops. I know Jared's looking at me like, what the heck? But the thing about it is if they can just protect, and just like you said, Mark, is throw those quick passes, I just got that feeling that something's going to happen to where the Tennessee Titans win.
Well, and we'll talk about this through the course of the broadcast. The 49ers having to go, multiple time zones east, to Nashville.
Yeah.
And now they're going to play a physical game. The last time they played against a physical team in this situation, they lost 16-6 to the Ravens, who are probably a better team than the Titans are now. But all I'm saying is the 49ers, no matter what they say, are a tired team. Yep. If the Titans can land enough body blows and stay close in the first half, I think they have an advantage in the second half, despite who they're missing.
Just looking at both teams, both teams have the same similar problem. And, the Tennessee Titans on offense does Mike Vrabel and Todd Downing trust the quarterback. Now, if you look at the quarterback with the 49ers, does Cunningham really trust Garoppolo? So they're in the same situation. So it's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes, who can take advantage of if somebody doesn't make a mistake, can make some plays. So I just think that's what it's going to come down to.
I look at this game and I think to myself, okay, can the Titans put one of those efforts together where the defense looks like it looked against the Rams, where they really put the pressure on the Rams, set the offense up for success, and the offense took care of the football?
Yep.
And that's ultimately what I feel like today comes down to me is, can the defense carry the Titans today? But let's be honest, the 49ers have a lot of good players on offense, and that includes Kettle and Deebo Samuel, and they can run the football with anybody with San Francisco. That makes me nervous.
Well, they also have maybe the best left tackle in the game in Trent Williams as a protector and as a run blocker. And you're right, Elijah Mitchell's having a great year, averaging well over 4 yards a carry.
Now he's out, and I think Jeff Wilson is in.
Really? Mitchell's out.
Yep.
Still, they'll run the ball effectively.
Oh, yeah, they can run the ball.
Regardless of who's there.
They can run the ball with anybody except for Chris Sanders, who has the NFL record for the least amount of rushing yards ever.
But the 49ers on offense will move Deebo Samuel all over the place.
Yeah.
He can play halfback, wide receiver. They'll jet sweep him. They'll do a lot of things with him. And, of course, they got, in George Kittle, maybe the best tight end in the game. So they've got a lot of weapons. Yards after catch is huge with San Francisco.
Yep.
So that means it's imperative that the Titans secondary tackles well tonight.
I think this whole game is dependent on what Tannehill does. He's got to get this offense going. He had 12 passes for 37 yards in 2 quarters. I mean, if he just protects the football and the defense flies around and have 8-9 hats to the ball and create turnovers like they did against the Rams, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Just protect the football. Don't give it away. And then also, it's not just on Tannehill. It's got to go with the running backs. When the running backs catch the ball, they can't fumble. Receivers can't catch the ball. They can't fumble. They got to make the play, secure the ball, and make sure they don't give a short field to the 49ers.
I've lost confidence in Tannehill's ability, though, to push the ball down the field.
I've lost confidence in a lot of things with Tannehill.
As far as throwing the short and intermediate routes, okay. But he had some shots downfield against the Steelers. One was dropped in his defense, but he missed on a few occasions. And, he had a rush in his face the whole game. He's going to have that again tonight.
I just think he just kind of watching him. I went and watched the film again. And I just think that, he's dealing with a little bit of confidence. I mean, if you're a quarterback, you're supposed to lead your team. You're supposed to show your team that I'm confident in leading the play. I'm confident in making that pass. I'm confident even when the chips are down, I'm going to get you to the promised land. I just think right now, him getting hit, him losing the ball, his confidence is kind of shaking. Just one play that kind of sticks into my mind is when he fumbled on the play. If you look at the center and the quarterback exchange, he looks up. And then he takes his eyes off the football, and that allowed him to make the fumble. So that just basically what that's saying is that I don't have confidence because I'm afraid I'm getting hit or I don't know where the pressure's coming from.
I wonder this, too, with the Titans, which is what is the response going to be after the embarrassing loss on Sunday? What's the response going to be? Chris, you know that because you've experienced that kind of loss. And then turning it around and saying, okay, now we got to get it all figured out. You've done that.
Yep.
The Titans under Vrabel usually respond pretty well when they get embarrassed.
I think they are. I mean, you're going to see a team that's going to come out with their hair on fire because they got embarrassed last week. When you're up 13-3 against, in my opinion, it's probably one of the worst Pittsburgh Steelers teams that I've ever seen. I mean, the defense is not really physical. I know they have Watt, but the Pittsburgh Steelers really didn't scare you. So you better believe, I guarantee you, on defense, they're going to be flying around on special teams. They're going to make plays. And then on offense, I understand that we don't have a left tackle and a left guard, but whoever's in that position, I don't know who it's going to be, but they're going to have a mindset that I'm getting after somebody, have a mindset of hitting somebody in the mouth because it starts with the head coach.
Well, a couple of things. I still haven't recovered from that. I need Butch Jones to snap and clear me because that one, still lives in me.
Right.
Here's the other thing. One of my other takeaways that I haven't heard from anybody else. You got to target Julio Jones more than once. Otherwise, he's going to lose interest. I don't know if there's a cause and effect with what happened last Sunday. with him going out of the game because, he got knocked around going for a fumble. But still, Tannehill's got it. I mean, this is almost Randy Moss all over again, where Vince Young couldn't find him in any of the games. And, maybe he wasn't open. I don't know. But I find it hard to believe that Tannehill targets Julio only once. And he's throwing to Ferkser and the rest of those guys most of the time.
But do you think that Pittsburgh maybe took him out the game? Because
maybe they did.
I mean, what they playing? I got to go back and look at it again. But they maybe took him out of the game and maybe put a bracket over him to take him out, because who scares you in the receiving corps?
I just don't think the Titans can drop back and hold
100%.
hold the line long enough to be able to get Julio open and then Tannehill to get him the ball.
Yeah, but just throw a quick fade. Do something. If it's a man-to-man.
I'm throwing a quick fade to a guy with a bum hamstring.
Yeah, but you got to listen to me one sec. It's a shorter fade is like a 3-step drop. Just throw it up and let him jump up and go get it. When you're running a 9 route, that's more like a deeper route. So it's like kind of like an intermediate route, but it's basically like a jump ball.
On the other side, we'll take a look at the 4 biggest storylines going into tonight's Thursday night game. Titans and 49ers. We're live at Boomba's Craft Pizza and Tap House. Mark Howard, Chris Sanders. It's the pregame show on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Can the Titans offense get going and put them back on Santa's nice list?
He's going to power across for the Titan touchdown.
Or will Jimmy G and the 49ers deliver coal for the two-tone blue this year?
Hand off out of the backfield and into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers.
We'll have full reaction all day Friday to Titans 49ers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Boomba's Craft Pizza and Tap House invites you to join them for all this year's college football bowl game and playoff action. Bama, Cincy, Georgia, or Michigan, who will win it all? Boomba's has countless big screen TVs and a huge video wall to watch it all go down. Enjoy their 2-time award-winning best pizza in America, featured on the Food Network, and 100% crafted for you. Wash it all down with their award-winning happy hour with $2 Boom Brews and select domestic pints. Locations in Bellevue, Murfreesboro, Spring Hill, and East Nashville. Pizza, beer, sports. See you there, Nashville.
Need a new roof? Get a roof built with integrity from E2 Roofing. E2 is a veteran-owned and operated local roofer with 95 5-star Google reviews and Better Business Bureau A+ rating. E2 Roofing is a veteran-owned and operated local roofer with 90 5-star Google reviews and Better Business Bureau A+ rating. E2 assists customers with roof repair and replacements through insurance claim assistance. Find out if insurance will pay for your new roof with a free inspection at e2roofingnashville.com.
Do great prices and selection on trucks and SUVs still exist? They do in Truckville. Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC of Nashville has the largest selection in Tennessee. And we keep getting fresh stock on our lots every day. We're committed to offering you our best price and a 5-star experience, which is why we're still known as the destination for trucks and SUVs. Come visit Truckville, Tennessee today in person or online at sarahnashville.com.
312 Pizza Company is the official sponsor and location of Southeastern Carolines with Caroline Fenton.
It's Chase McCabe here, and 'tis the 7 days of parlays. BetMGM is celebrating the holidays by delivering parlay presents to you every day for a week. From December 19th to December 25th, BetMGM customers can unwrap free bets and risk-free wagers when they place a one-game parlay. Plus, there are plenty of Parlay Boost tokens and other bonuses under the tree. If you're a sports fan, you're automatically on the nice list at the King of Sportsbooks. Not yet registered for BetMGM? All you need to do is sign up on the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com to enjoy a piece of the holiday action. Get in the parlay spirit with the 7 days of parlays at BetMGM. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Zines First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
It's the end of the year blowout sale at Social Furniture. Save up to 70% off Ashley Furniture. Social Furniture has truckloads of the best selection of furniture. Get your nightstands, mattresses, bar stools, sofas, and recliners all on sale now. Come first for the best selection of furniture before it's gone, and you don't want to miss out. Visit Social Furniture on the west side at 5412 Charlotte Avenue. On the web at mysocialfurniture.com. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
This is NFL Pregame.
Live from Moonbah's Craft Pizza and Tap House, the pregame show is on as we get you set for Thursday night football, the Titans and the 49ers. Chris Sanders, what do you remember about playing on Thursdays?
I can't even remember. It's been so long. Didn't we play Dallas on a Thursday?
That was Thanksgiving.
I don't remember playing.
Played the Raiders here the first year on a Thursday.
Did I catch a touchdown?
No, Eddie George had 200 yards and then lost a yard and finished with 199.
Oh, I think I caught like a 30-yard pass, something like that. I didn't catch too many.
I'll have to look that one up on that.
Yeah.
It is time, though, now for our Moving the Chains, presented by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. We start on first down.
First down.
The number one thing the GM used to always say about every NFL football game was they are decided by turnovers.
Oh, man.
And the Tennessee Titans are turning the football over at an alarming clip. More turnovers last week. 4 of them last week against the Steelers, all leading to Steeler points. Mark Howard, what's wrong with the Titans and why can they not take care of the football?
You know, it's crazy sometimes, but a lot of quirky things happened with those fumbles, including, the bad snap between Ben Jones and Ryan Tannehill, which, was crucial in the game. Listen, you cannot make mental mistakes, and those things, lead to points, and that's what the Titans have to do. They've got to clean it up. But it's weird, Jared, how some years, like last year, the Titans had a huge advantage in turnover differential, and this year it's really almost the opposite, and that's what a lot of people say. Yet they've been able to overcome it.
Right.
They couldn't last week, and they're not going to be able to do it against the 49ers. Flat out, the Titans need to win that stat tonight to win the game, and they've been able to do it. Their defense has shown the ability to take the ball away, but beware, especially of the secondary for San Francisco. Josh Norman, you can beat him, but he's caused and recovered 7 fumbles. So, that's something that you got to worry about after the catch.
Yeah, and these aren't just turnovers. These are crucial turnovers. I mean, if you look at where the ball has been fumbled at, it was deep in the Titans' territory. So you can't do that. Just imagine if they would have played against a Kansas City or a Buffalo Bills and you fumbled 3 or 4 times, in your territory. Instead of, was it 5? How much was it? 5 turnovers? Well,
4.
Yeah, 4 turnovers. And if you do that against Kansas City, you do that against a team that's good on offense, you're going to find yourself sitting home. So if they can just eliminate the turnovers, and also, too, I want to piggyback a little bit, is they're correctable. I mean, when you catch a ball, you just got to tuck it away and and not let them rip the ball away. So that's correctable. If they can do that, I think the Tennessee Titans will be fine.
The Racey McMath thing was tough, I thought.
Yeah.
Again, some of it was careless, some of it wasn't. But, we talk about turnovers, and we flash back to the Kansas City and the Rams games, and the defense came up with huge takeaways that turned those games around. And that's what we're going to have to see tonight. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's thrown 8 interceptions. He's not the reincarnation of Joe Montana by any stretch.
Yeah.
So he could be vulnerable tonight. He could be tricked.
Man, just look at the teams that the Tennessee Titans lost to. I mean, look at the Tennessee Titans dominated against the Texans. The Texans had 190 yards. Tennessee Titans had 420 yards. But what was the difference?
Turnovers.
Look at the Steelers. Steelers had 168 yards. Tennessee Titans had 318 yards. What was the key factor? Turnovers. So if the Tennessee Titans can keep getting the yardage and try to make plays but eliminate the turnovers, now you got a recipe for success.
That takes us to second down.
Second down.
Deontay Foreman looks like he's starting to become the guy in place of Derrick Henry. 22 carries against the Steelers, 108 yards, 2 catches for 27, by the way, against Pittsburgh as well. 19 for 109 2 weeks ago against the Patriots, but a deadly fumble in that game as well. Foreman injured his ankle at the end of the Steeler game, returned after getting it taped. He is a go tonight for the Titans. Chris Sanders, what do we think of Deontay Foreman? And can Deontay Foreman carry the load knowing that they're going to have to run the ball effectively?
Absolutely. And the one thing I love about him, he's standing in front of the chains. I mean, I know he's not doing what Derrick Henry's doing, but he's still being productive in the run game. When you're standing in front of the chains and having those physical runs, when you get into the fourth quarter, a lot of the secondary don't want to tackle a big guy like that. So even though he may not have the 76-yard run or the 56-yard run, he's still keeping the chains moving. So if you can do that, it takes a lot of pressure off Tannehill and takes the ball out of his hands and puts it in Foreman's hands.
Yeah, I think Deontay Foreman's made some money for himself.
Yeah,
if the Titans don't decide to re-sign him. As you said, Chris, he's run the ball effectively. But what bothers me about the Titans' offense is that suddenly they're ineffective in the red zone. And I think that hurt them, too, against the Steelers. Getting 3s instead of 6s, they've got to complete drives.
Yep, and then also, too, we talked about it a little earlier, that they need to come back to the play action. So if Foreman and Hilliard and those guys are running the ball effectively, then maybe we might see a little play action with A.J. Brown coming back.
I thought what I liked about Foreman, too, unlike Derrick Henry, and he does look like a diet Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
But one thing that I liked about Foreman is he looks like he's got some moves when he catches the football out of the backfield. You know what I mean? He looks like with Derrick, when he catches the ball out of the backfield, it's like very robotic. Like he's got to catch it, then he's got to secure it, then he's got to turn around, then he's got to kind of run it a little bit. Foreman, he catches the football like he knows how to catch it out of the backfield. I think that can be a big thing tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Jared, but also, too, is I love when he gets ready for contact, he lowers his shoulder. I mean, he's looking for contact. He's looking to run through somebody's lips. So, man, even though he's not having the gigantic runs like Derrick Henry, but he's still having those punishing runs. When you have those punishing runs, when you get into the fourth quarter, a lot of guys don't want to tackle you.
Well, and not only that third or fourth down that he got? Maybe it was a fourth down. I mean, that was a Derrick Henry play where the Steelers had him stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he just kept chugging. And that right there, that showed me a lot. One of my biggest knocks of the Titans, and there's a lot of things to knock their personnel department for right now, but they had Foreman as the backup to Henry last year. Played a little bit. I thought he played okay. And then all of a sudden, they just cut him in the middle of last year. And then he didn't have a job until Derrick Henry got hurt. I think he's the perfect backup for Derrick Henry. And I hope they understand that going forward.
No, John Robinson, I think, has done at times a fantastic job for going out, his personnel department, going out and bringing guys off the street and them being fairly effective. I remember a time when that really wasn't the case with the Titans, where, they bring these stiffs in, that just, are selling insurance or something, and they're terrible. But that hasn't necessarily been the case with the Titans. And you're right with Foreman and Hilliard, again, finding running backs, whether they're on the practice squad or on the street. I thought the Titans did pretty well for themselves.
And Jared, I agree with you. I think that was a good pickup because, number one, he fits this offense. And the reason why I say he fits this offense, when you run the outside zone when the Tennessee Titans run it, especially with Derrick Henry, it's one cut and go. Mm-hmm. Look at Foreman. Foreman does the exact same thing. He doesn't waste time to get into the hole. So it's one cut, I'm hitting the hole, and I'm looking to run through somebody's face. So even though you don't have the big run, you're still getting production and getting the same thing out of Derrick.
That takes us to third down. The AFC South, it felt like it was locked up around the World Series. Now all of a sudden the Titans have a essentially 2-game lead, but it is a 1-game lead with the tiebreaker. A Titans loss and a Colts win could put the division in jeopardy. Titans' magic number is 2. A Titans win and a Colts loss would give the AFC South to the Titans for the second straight week. Are we concerned, Mark Howard, about the AFC South?
Yeah. Yeah, of course we are. Look at what's happening. Have you seen the Colts lately?
Ooh. See, I really am not that concerned.
Are you serious?
Well, I have two thoughts behind this. The
If
first
they
one
win
is
if they win at Arizona this weekend, I'm really concerned. But I still think that even if the Titans don't win this game, I think they'll beat Miami, and I'm pretty sure they're going to win at Houston.
I don't know.
Nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah.
But it would be a collapse of epic proportions if the Titans blew the division and didn't make the playoffs.
Man, the Colts scare me. And the reason why they scare me is because, not that they're doing everything right, is because they're a confident ball club. I mean, they are. Look at the quarterback. Wentz is confident. You got the receivers that are confident. You got a Leonard, the linebacker that's for the Colts. This man just playing out of his mind. They call him Maniac. He's Maniac on the field. He's always around the ball.
Darius Leonard,
he's a dog, man. So when you have a confident ball club, they started 1-4, and you came back and you win like 6 or 7 straight, and then now you put yourself in the hunt to win the AFC South, that is a freaking dangerous team.
I just think that here's my thought. It's one thought that's tied into two separate things. Number one, I think the Titans are going to win 2 games, and the magic number's 2. Number 2, if you can't beat the Dolphins and can't beat the Texans, you don't deserve to win the division anyway, and you're not going to be able to do anything in the playoffs when you get there. So what do you care? What's it? If they don't win the division, it'll be their fault, and they will deserve whatever they get. So I guess I'm not too worked up about it.
The crazy thing is, and I know it's totally unscientific, because if you line these teams up, the 49ers are the obvious favorite. But these are the kind of games the Titans win. that defy logic.
The Mike Vrabel special.
They're home this time. It is conceivable that the 49ers are out of gas. They're close to being out of gas.
What did we say Sunday at the end of the show? We picked the Steelers because we said, we both picked the Steelers because we were like, the Titans are probably going to go in there in a game they should win. They'll probably screw up. Because we just know the Titans so well that we know that they do things like this.
You did a good job, though, of foreshadowing that San Francisco would rout Atlanta and come in here, maybe not fat and happy, but, coming in here confident, but tired.
I just didn't anticipate Dylan Radins having to start attack.
I only have 2 words for that. Oy vey. I'm sorry. Really. I can't think of anything else. The 49ers, Shanahan let them sleep in their own beds, leading up. And, they're trying to come here, as energized as they possibly can. It's just a tough turnaround. Chris, this.
Absolutely.
You gotta come back east and lose time. It's never easy. So, we'll see what happens tonight, how it manifests itself. But the 49ers are on a roll, and you wonder if this is the kind of game that can trip them up.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, too, you have 2 teams that are unfamiliar with each other. And I think that benefits the Tennessee Titans. And when you're unfamiliar with a team, you need more practice. The 49ers have lost their practice because they had to travel here. The Tennessee Titans had a chance to get an extra day of practice when the 49ers lose a practice. So I don't know. I just have a feeling that Mike Vrabel is going to figure out a way to win. He's going to tell these guys that the media doesn't like you. The 49ers are hot. Let's go hit them in the mouth. Let's start fast. I know that sounds like coach talk, but, man, let's go rally the troops and let's go get this thing. That's what he's telling those guys.
Yeah.
Let's go to 4th down.
4th down.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please take a moment of silence for the one decent punt return the Tennessee Titans have gotten in God knows how long. Chester Rogers with a big 55-yard punt return plus a penalty on top of it. Then Chester Rogers took the dumbest punt return that I've ever seen and almost fumbled the football. Actually did fumble the football, but he recovered it. Can the Titans special teams ever just be consistent and get it right for the Titans, Chris?
Swing and a miss. I don't know. We saw Chester Rogers. Chester Rogers has spurts. He makes a play here and there, but then all of a sudden he makes some crazy plays. We saw what he did maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago with the Texans. When it's a punt return and it's short, you yell Peter to tell everybody to get out the way. He yells Peter, but he stays in the way. And it shows you that you can't make those mistakes. And when you make those mistakes, you give a team a short field. So if he just catches the ball, makes the fair catch, and gets the heck out of the way, then now you won't have those mistakes, and then we have field goals. We can't miss extra points with Bullock. We can't miss field goals. We got to make sure we get points and keep the 49ers on their heels.
Well, and that's they knew what they were getting with Chester Rogers.
Yeah.
He likes to live dangerously. We've seen both sides of it, haven't we? And we'd like more of that great punt return. So hopefully they can get something tonight from him.
Coming up next, we'll take a look at the offense. We'll go inside the playbook. What can the Titans offense do without their tackles, without Roger Saffold, without Derrick Henry, but AJ and Julio are in? We'll discuss that next. It's the pregame show on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Sunday. It's an NFL triple header with playoff implications. First, Bills-Patriots.
Allen, he fires to the end zone. Davis, touchdown.
Followed by Steelers-Chiefs.
Mahomes, throw it, pass, caught, Hill, touchdown.
And then capped off by the Cowboys and Washington football team.
Elliott, right up the gut for a touchdown.
It all begins at 11
on ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Still working on that Christmas list? Hurry into Electronic Express for your last-minute gifts. Get huge savings with up to 50% off in every department. 4K TVs, computers, gaming, speakers and headphones, smart home, housewares, and more. That's not all. Get up to 40% off all your appliance needs. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. We've got the last-minute Christmas gifts you need at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
This holiday season at Genesis Diamonds, a spectacular selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches.
Hi, I'm Charlie Rivers, and I have been a Rolex expert for a very long time.
Nashville's Charlie Rivers invites you to see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces in Tennessee.
I have never seen so many luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in one spot.
Genesis has Sea Dwellers, Datejusts, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, Air Kings, hand-selected premium timepieces in pristine condition. Watches you can't find anywhere else for men and women.
I'm so excited that I can finally give my customers what they want.
And at Genesis, there are no wait lists and no minimum spend requirements. Nothing stands in the way of you and your dream timepiece.
Come say hi, and I will help you find the perfect luxury pre-owned Rolex you've been dreaming of.
Come reward yourself or someone you love this Christmas with a luxury pre-owned Rolex. Genesis Diamonds in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here, and the holidays are here, and FanDuel Sportsbook has a gift for all new customers, and I'm not talking about a pair of slippers. We're talking about 30-1 odds on any Christmas Day NBA or NFL game. Just sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook and bet on any team to win any of the 7 marquee matchups taking place on Christmas, and if your bet wins, you'll be paid out 30 times your wager. That's right, you can turn a $5 bet into $150. Personally, I'm sticking with the NFL. Give me the Packers taking on the Browns on Christmas Day. I like the Pack. I like Aaron Rodgers on the over as well, but you take it any way you want to take it. Make sure you don't miss your chance to win $150 on a $5 bet. Sign up with promo code ROB to place your first FanDuel Sportsbook wager on any NBA or NFL Christmas Day game for exclusive 30-1 odds. Our gift to all new customers. Download FanDuel Sportsbook today with promo code ROB. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only. A $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market and backs bonus of $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Fever is a potential sign of COVID or the flu, so make sure you use an accurate thermometer. Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Exergen Temporal Scanners are available at Walmart and other fine retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com. That's EXERGEN.com.
What are the keys to victory on the offensive side of the ball for the two-tone blue? Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard go inside the playbook. Brought to you by E2 Roofing. This is the NFL pregame on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Inside the playbook, presented by E2 Roofing. Trust the roofers with integrity. E2 Roofing, a veteran-owned and operated local Nashville roofer. So here are your options at left tackle for today for the Titans, and then we'll get into the good news that A.J. Brown has returned.
Yeah.
At left tackle, you could have Dylan Radins, who's never played tackle in the NFL. You could have Christian DeLorio, who just got added up off the practice squad. I believe he spent last year with the Steelers. Not sure if he actually played. Or you could move David Quessenberry from right tackle to left tackle, where he played at the end of last season for the Titans. and place one of those two guys at right tackle. The 49ers have Nick Bosa, who will line up wherever he wants on the offensive line. So whichever the weak link is, Bosa will be there. Aaron Brewer starts, by the way, in place of Roger Saffold. Mark Howard, what do you make of that?
In most cases, I would plug, one of those guys and keep Questenberry at right tackle, because theoretically then you're hurting yourself at two positions. I would probably keep Questenberry on the right side. I'm probably totally wrong here, and have DeLorio probably start at left tackle. Listen, Dylan Radins has been a disaster. I just starting him at left tackle, in my mind, makes no sense at all. I don't care how many reps he had in practice. Right. This is the big leagues, and I just don't see throwing him in there.
Well, who do you put in there?
Well, DeLorio, I mean, God, he's got to be a better option.
He has never played in an NFL game.
He's got to be a better option. You know what? I don't know.
Yeah, I know we're laughing and joking, but regardless of who they have at the offensive line, I'm going to tell you who the most important person on the offensive line is, Ben Jones. And the reason why I say Ben Jones is the most important person on the offensive line is he sets the front. He's got to communicate with these guys. Okay, the pressure's coming this way. The front's in this way. So, okay, even, whatever it is, if he can do that to help those guys out, then maybe they can be successful. I understand that Radins is maybe not be athletic-wise, but even if he puts himself in position to block somebody and Ben Jones sets the front for him and tell him where the blitz is coming from, then maybe he can help this Tennessee Titans be okay.
The other thing is Questenberry, hasn't been a world beater at right tackle, but his run blocking has been decent. Mm-hmm. And at least the right side of that line you can run behind. Maybe not the left side very often, but you could have some confidence at least running to the right side, although the 49ers will probably figure that out. But still, keep Questenberry on the right side.
Yeah, and then also, too, it's going to fall on Todd Downing also to make sure he puts these guys formation-wise to make sure these guys are successful. I said a little earlier in the show is maybe go 12 personnel, one back, two tight ends to help those two tackles on the outside. So wherever Bosa's at, you can say, okay, right, left. That's exactly where Bosa is. So you can double-team him and alleviate a little bit of that pressure.
But here's the other thing that has the Titans at a disadvantage. Lamb was used as sort of an extra blocking tight end, and now he's not there for that. With Lewan being out, the Titans do not have prolific blocking tight ends. Mm-hmm. Swain might be, one of them, and maybe Pruitt. Mm-hmm. But they need another tight end, and I don't know who's going to act in that capacity.
Yeah, but you just kind of made me think of something.
Is it going to be Munier? I don't know who it's going to be.
But it all goes back to Todd Downing, and you just kind of made me think of something also. Maybe go a 13 personnel and add another tight end. One back, three tight ends, one wide receiver. So say if you wanted to have max protection, you have Julio or A.J. Brown on the outside and take advantage of one-on-one on the outside. So those are little things that Todd Downing can do to protect these guys that we've never heard of. We heard of Radins, but we haven't heard of these other guys to protect those guys.
Yeah, I don't see a great option, though.
Yeah.
When Tannehill takes a 7-step drop, he's not going to have the D-line all over him.
No.
I could be, like I said, I could be completely wrong, right, but the matchups just don't favor the Titans.
A.J. Brown back into the lineup today. Julio Jones back into the lineup. Chris Sanders, how do you see their effectiveness?
I mean, they're going to have to be effective. I think you said it a little bit earlier in the show that we got to get them a quick screen, a quick slant, or something quick to make sure they get the ball in their hands to get their feet kind of wet and keep Julio, interested. But these guys have to come up big because we definitely need a receiver to step up. Last week we didn't really get it done. You have Westbrook that got 4 for 33. Julio caught 0. We need a receiver to step up and make a play. We need a receiver to take that dominant role that I'm the guy that when it's 3rd and 15, I can make the play. When I got to run a post, I can make the play. If I got to run a dig, I can make the play. We don't have that guy, but now that we have A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, one of those guys need to step up.
Do you have A.J. on a pitch count? That's a question you got to ask. Coming with the short week, as he comes off IR, I mean, you're never 100% at this point of the season, but you wonder, how much if he's come back, enough to go out there and play effectively. And who knows with Julio? I mean, the hamstring is a beautiful mystery, and so is Julio. And in terms of his production, they've gotten next to Zippo outside of one game.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the games that he played in, he played in the Colts game, he left early. He played against the Pittsburgh, he was gone the second half. Played against the Kansas City Chiefs, he left again. So what are we going to see this game? Can he finish a full game? It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I wonder in this football game how much the Titans can actually throw the ball today. There's got to be like a level of, hey, don't throw it unless you have to throw it. I said earlier today 16 pass attempts would be ideal today for the Titans. But if they get down at all, you're going to have to throw it more than 16 times.
Yeah, you're right. But I think, too, that it goes back to Tannehill. He's got to see where his matchups are at. If they double A.J. Brown, then Julio single, just do a three-step drop, throw it up, and let that guy go up and get the ball. So things like that Tannehill can do to improve the passing game.
49ers have vulnerable cornerbacks. Josh Norman can be beaten, and we don't even know if Aubrey Thomas is going to start at the other corner. He's been absolutely gotten torched, including by the Falcons. Is it going to be Emmanuel Mosley? Is it going to be Deontay I think Deontay Johnson.
It's Williams.
Deontay Williams.
Yeah, Kawan Williams.
That wasn't even close. But, is it going to be that third guy?
Yeah.
So that's kind of a mystery as far as the 49ers are concerned. And can Tannehill, again, throw the ball downfield effectively?
And, we got big receivers. A.J. Brown and Julio Jones are big bodies. So what you can do is say you're going to Twins personnel and maybe let Julio play the slot and catch like a 5 or 6 yard hitch and break some tackles and get 15, 16 yards. So that's still a plus. But we need somebody to take the top off the defense and make a big play downfield. We saw it last week with Westbrook. He had a chance to make a play, but he didn't make the play. So one of those two guys need to step up.
Coming up next, we'll flip the script. Defense. George Kittle's on fire. Jimmy Garoppolo has won some games. What's the Titans' defense going to do against San Francisco? We'll get into that next. Live from Boombox Craft Pizza and Tap House in East Nashville. It's a pregame show on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Darren McFarland. That should get you in the mood for a game tonight. Willie Donick.
I think between 5.5 and 6 is probably in the ballpark.
Chase McCabe.
Typically, I like to take the most difficult task and do it first.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Curation CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobis. Our warming trend will continue overnight tonight into the weekend. Overnight temperatures going to be in the middle 40s. Your Friday, very warm, middle 60s and bright sunshine. Christmas Day, low to middle 70s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
If you snore, it may be a sign of a more serious, possibly life-threatening condition. Most people think of snoring as a nuisance, but it's a much more serious medical condition than you think. Snoring has been associated with chest pain, sleep apnea, high blood pressure, chronic pain, obesity, headaches, and sore throat. Take a listen to what some of our patients are saying about the revolutionary Vivo system.
Right after I started using it, I noticed the results really, especially with the snoring. My sleep apnea episodes are a fraction of what they were before. This product's phenomenal. It changed my life.
I am 100% happy that I did this, and I'm thankful every day that I have it.
If you're curious about our sleep devices, call now for a sleep consultation. Don't let your spouse have to sleep in the guest room, and don't risk the severe health complications of snoring and sleep apnea.
Dr. Kelly Rice is certified to provide the Vivo system to open the airway for a better night's sleep. Call 615-373-4488 or go to BrentwoodSleepApnea.com now to see which therapy can work best for you.
Individual results may vary. Always seek the advice of your health provider with any questions regarding a medical condition.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
What are the keys to victory on the defensive side of the ball for the two-tone blue? Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard go inside the playbook. Brought to you by E2 Roofing. This is the NFL Pregame on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Inside the Playbook, brought to you by E2 Roofing. Trust the roofers with integrity. E2 Roofing, a veteran-owned and operated local Nashville roofer. Defense, Chris Sanders.
Yes,
Jimmy
sir.
Garoppolo's playing well, but in large part to the fact that he's got a Pro Bowl wide receiver in Deebo Samuel and a Pro Bowl All-Pro tight end in Travis Kelce. 525 receiving yards for Kelce over his last three games. He has been fantastic. Elijah Mitchell, their running back, is out today for the 49ers. But what can the Titans defense, which has played well and played well on Sunday at Pittsburgh, what can they do today to help the Titans get a victory?
I think the blueprint is what they did against the Rams. I mean, when they played against the Rams, everybody was talking about Stafford. Everybody was talking about how hot he was. He was so confused. His body language was like, man, where's the pressure coming from? I don't know what to do. They need to do the same thing with Garoppolo. I understand that they got Deebo Samuels or Deebo, they got Ayuk, and they got Jennings. They got an explosive offense. But if you confuse the quarterback and make him make mistakes, I think they can definitely be successful, because if you get pressure as a quarterback, you start to second-guess your throws. You can't go your first read, your second or your third read. You tend to make mistakes. So if they can do that, create turnovers, frustrate Garoppolo, and don't give up their explosive plays, win for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I think one of the most important matchups tonight is going to be Zach Cunningham against George Kittle. And Kittle's ability not only to find holes in the defense, but his yards after catch. And, Ayuk, Brandon Ayuk, their other receiver, is a good deep threat. The Titans have been pretty good about not getting beaten that way. And the Titans have to tackle effectively and get Garoppolo somehow in the second and third and long. You do that, you make Jimmy Garoppolo have to throw the ball down the field, and you increase your chances of him turning the ball over. He is a good short to intermediate pass guy. The Titans do a very good job of disguising their coverage, changing their zones, from the snap, and they're going to try to confuse Garoppolo, and that's going to be the other aspect of tonight.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing, too, is I know we're talking about Garoppolo, but I think we need to know where Deebo Samuel is every time. They put him in the backfield. He does a wildcat. He does the speed sweep. He can play wide receiver and run the deep route. So he's one of those guys that when he's in the game, you need to say something like alert, alert, or, double, double, double to figure out where he's at so he doesn't kill you over top. And then also, too, a guy that we're really not talking about is Jennings. Jennings is a big wide receiver that's coming on strong. He has 144 yards. He may not have the numbers, but he's coming on hot. So if they get that one, if the Titans try to man up on him, they got to make sure they keep their hands on him also.
Titans have been really effective at getting to the quarterback when Bud Dupree has been in the lineup yesterday, or I should say Sunday, was no different. Titans all over Ben Roethlisberger, but they couldn't force a turnover. And it feels like with the offense and the state that they're in right now, guys, it feels like the defense is going to have to force turnovers today. How do they do it, Mark?
Just keep the pressure on. Again, that rush, that interior rush that Jeffrey Simmons, is able to generate, I think, is a huge key. And, they've been able to do that this year. The thing that troubles me is the inside rush has got to get it done, because the outside rush is going to have some problems. Trent Williams is going to be a tough matchup on Harold Landry. He has the physical advantage. He's just the kind of rusher that Williams can handle.
I think he'll be matched on Bud.
He might be.
But I think that he's too good for Bud, too.
Well, maybe.
Ooh. Trent Williams is, I think, the best left tackle in the NFL.
But, yeah, Bud is a guy that can rush physically and with speed and maybe get by Williams. Obviously, Harold Landry, will try the other side. But they got to get to the quarterback. And if they do that and put the pressure on, that forces mistakes.
Yeah, and I agree.
They say pressure bust pipes.
And I agree with you 100%. We got to get Garoppolo off his spot. I know we say that all the time because he's one of those quarterbacks that likes to get the ball out quick. So if the defensive backs come to wide receivers, then he's got to come off his spot and go to a second and third read. And I don't think he wants to do that. He just wants to go to his first read and make sure he gets the ball where it needs to be. But if we put some pressure on him with Simmons and Landry and Autry and put those big paws up, then now he's got to make decisions that he doesn't want to make.
How would you guys match up on George Kittle?
I'm putting a safety on him. I got to put somebody on him that has good change of direction.
See, I'm putting a corner. TD and I talked about it. TD said he'd 100%. Put Zach Cunningham on him.
No.
I would put Buster Screen on George Kittle.
Somebody that has quick feet because he runs like a wide receiver now, and he gets out of his cuts like a wide receiver. So I understand it.
Like I would go Fulton on Debo, and I would go Screen on Kittle, and I would go Chris Jackson, who returns to the lineup tonight. I would put Chris Jackson or whomever else, or Jackrabbit Jenkins on Jawan Jennings.
I disagree. I think Zach Cunningham at least has the physicality maybe to handle Kittle. We'll have to find out. Maybe not the speed, and he might have to pass him off the screen. They're going to have to figure out a sophisticated way, maybe to pass off a receiver like that. But I think you start with Cunningham until they get 8 or 10 yards from the line of scrimmage.
And I think too, what you do if he's lined up on the line as opposed to split out, you got to put a hand on him. I mean, you can't just let him have a free release. If you let him have a free release, I mean, that's just like going to the candy store. I mean, that's stealing. So what you got to do, put a body on him, put a hand on him, and make sure he doesn't have a free release. Now if he's flanked out into the slot, in my opinion, I just think you got to have somebody with good feet and have change of direction because he runs routes like some of the best wide receivers in the league.
What would you guys do as far as the running game is concerned, or how worried are you about the running game? Elijah Mitchell, their leading rusher, 757 yards. He's out. Jeff Wilson, 65 carries, 249, 1 touchdown, 3.8 yards a crack. And Trey Sermon from
the Ohio State.
Trey Sermon is their third leading rusher at 167 and a touch. Are we worried at all about San Francisco running the ball? Kyle Shanahan, known for running it well, but the Titans have not really struggled at stopping the run at any point this year.
No, they've handled the run regardless of who we're talking about, and that's sort of been a plus to this defense. And that's how they've, that's one of the reasons why they've improved their third down percentage because they've gotten teams into third and long, and that's exactly what they have to do.
I don't think that I'm not concerned about those guys. I'm concerned about what they do with Deebo Samuels. I mean, Deebo Samuels can run those speed sweeps, and also he's in the wildcat quite a bit. And then also when running those reverses and quick screens, that's like a running play also. So even though you name those guys, I don't think those guys scare me. But the one guy that scares me running the ball is Deebo Samuels.
Coming up next, we'll take a look at who's in and who's out for the Titans, plus Mike Vrabel's keys to the game, and the Titans only with one Pro Bowler. What do we think of that? We'll get to that coming up. We're live at Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House in East Nashville. It's the pregame show on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The voice of reason.
274 yards, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. You're not going to win a game that way.
The voice of the fan.
I'm tired of let's just give it to a quarterback.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
These are battles, these are grinds. We don't panic, we don't freak out. That's how we're built. 1, 2, 3, 9.
This is The Drive to the Playoffs, brought to you by Coleman Tractor on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The Tennessee Titans will hit the field tonight when they host San Francisco on Thursday Night Football. After tonight, there are only 2 regular season games left on the schedule. Titans head coach Mike Vrabel talked this week about the team coming down the stretch.
Yeah, we haven't been caught up in how many games we have left. We kind of just keep preparing for the next opponent. That's been our mindset. It's been my mindset as a coach. Hopefully something we focus on today. On how we can just improve and things that we can do to help our team today.
The following players have been ruled out for the game tonight: left tackle Taylor Lewan, left guard Roger Saffold, linebacker David Long Jr., and defensive lineman Laurel Murchison. The 49ers will be without their starting running back Elijah Mitchell. Kickoff tonight in Nissan Stadium is set for 7:20.
Attention Nice List recipients. The Mercedes-Benz winter event is here. Make this season your reason. Forget the halls, deck the garage. Hark, the turbo engines sing. Like hot cocoa in a blizzard, this opportunity won't last long. Hurry for these exclusive offers from Nashville's two-time Best of the Best award-winning Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Just one exit from the airport. Go to mbofmc.com.
The great Persian poet Rumi once said, either bring me more wine or leave me alone. Truly a wise man if you ask me. When it comes to wine this holiday season, the only place I'll be jingling my cowbells is Red Spirits and Wine. Red's simply got the coolest selection, the best prices, and a holly jolly crew that's always friendly and makes great recommendations without ever acting like some of those pontificating snooty toots that you run into at a lot of places. I love the wine so much at Red that I sometimes forget to mention all of the great Red Barrel Select bourbons, single malt scotches, tequila, mezcal. Heck, Red's got it all to lift your spirits. Not to mention an awesome 16-tap beer growler station and 3 nice cigar humidors where you can lasso up some of the finest smokes. Red Spirits and Wine is your one-stop shop for the holidays, and don't forget, Red's got gift cards too. Red Spirits and Wine is open 7 days a week at Highway 70 South and Old Hickory Boulevard.
Yo, this is Josh from Music Vintage. We're here to provide you with all your vintage apparel needs. Tons of great shoes and memorabilia from your past. We're located in the heart of East Nashville at 2503 Gallatin Avenue, where we do buy, sell, and trade. Got some clothes your stepdad gave you in the 90s? Found some dope clothes in your granddad's closet? Bring it by, we'll give you a cash offer. Found some at a thrift store and don't know where to sell it? Bring it by, we'll give you a cash offer. Got some new Jordans that don't quite fit well? Bring it by and we'll give you a cash offer. Music Vintage, here to provide you with all your vintage and shoe needs. See y'all soon, Nashville.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. It's game day for the Two-Tone Blue. This is NFL Pregame with Jared Stillman, forever receiver Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard. Brought to you by E2 Roofing, FanDuel Sportsbook, Freedom Tire Guys, Hillside Medical Clinic, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, Social Furniture, and TriStar Moving. NFL Pregame starts now on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
1 hour, 20 minutes to kick off between the Titans and the 49ers. Pre-game show live from Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House in East Nashville. Time now to take a look at our Thursday night football inactives. The inactive list and Mike Vrabel's keys to the game are brought to you by Hillside Medical Clinic every week here on the pregame show. Out today for the Titans, cornerback Chris Jones, inside linebacker Joe Jones, inside linebacker David Long Jr., defensive lineman Laurel Murchison, outside linebacker Derek Roberson, and left tackle Taylor Lewan. Lewan missing another game.
What is wrong with him?
Next season, it's a back injury. Next season, Lewan due $14.6 million. The Titans could release him and save $13 million against the cap. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not sure that Taylor will be in the two-tone blue next year.
Well, the problem is you got to decide what you're going to do with Julio Jones because you're going to eat a lot of money. You're going to have some more dead money.
Oh, Julio's going to play next year.
You really think he's coming back next year?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's
you're going to cut a second-round pick. You trade a second-round pick, and you're going to eat like $11 million or something on Julio.
Will you pay him, though?
I think it's a lot more likely that Lewan comes back than Julio. That's my opinion. Because after next year, Lewan becomes very cheap to have around.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Jared. I don't think Lewan's going to be here because, you got to be available to be on the field. I mean, all this year, he really hasn't been available. And when he was available, he's been playing okay. I mean, I want to see that dominant force that he was when he first got in the league. And right now, I just don't see it. So, for me, I'm going a different direction to get somebody in there to do a better job.
See, I think next year he'll be 2 years clear of knee surgery
good point.
and will be better. I don't know how bad the back is, though, and that's a concern. So, we'll see.
Here was my problem was when he tore his ACL last year, I was still doing the show with Floyd. And Floyd said to me, he goes, he's missed half the games over the last 2 years. Between the PED suspension and the knee. He goes, he's missed half the games over the last 2 years. I can't pay you to play left tackle if you're going to miss half the games. And so this was kind of the prove-it year for him, and he's missed basically half the games. And one problem that the Titans have themselves in is they've invested too much in guys that you can't count on. And Taylor's right there as a guy that they can't count on right now. This is what I think would have to happen. For him to stay, he'd have to take probably like a $7-8 million haircut. And I don't think he's going to do that.
Well, but the other problem is they're going to let Saffold walk.
Well, they're going to cut him, too.
They're going to cut Saffold.
Yes.
Okay, so you got the whole left side of your offensive line.
Ben Jones is a free agent.
Ben Jones.
Questenberry is a replacement.
You're going to probably have to replace Ben Jones.
And Questenberry.
Dang, that's
so I just think that's too many guys on your shopping list, and you're just going to have to live with Lewan next year because you've got so many other holes to fill. I mean, you draft a left tackle in the first round. You're just going to draft offensive linemen exclusively? They have other needs. They got to find, another receiver. They've got other things that they have to get a tight end. There are other things that they need to address. So, it'll be interesting to see what John Robinson does.
Yeah, I agree because John Robinson's going to have to make some tough decisions. But I think that he has that Belichick in him to make that hard decision to where, even though it might hit us hard on the cap, he's just not valuable to us right now. I mean, look at what he did the first game when he played against Arizona. I understand that he came off the knee injury, but he's not the dominant force that he was when he first got in the league.
Well, but I don't think sentiment has anything to do with it. I think just being practical, and that is you're going to replace your whole offensive line.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Go ahead and knock yourself out. I mean, you do.
Isn't that what Kansas City did this past offseason? Was they really –
And they started off slow, too.
Oh, yeah, they definitely started off slow.
Yeah, I mean, they absolutely got a gem in the 6th round from Tennessee who they plugged in and started. I don't think they expected that. But ask the Steelers who tried to put together a new offensive line. It's been a disaster. So, go ahead and try. But it's not going to be easy.
But it's amazing, and I was just kind of thinking about this. Last year we were talking about how bad the defense was. Now we're talking how bad the offense is.
Oh, I know.
I know.
It's just kind of weird. Just imagine if the offense that we had last year was playing as good as they were and the defense is playing as good as they are now. Woo, my goodness.
And they've got to pay Landry. I mean, they've got to keep him.
Do you think he'll
stay? Not let a rusher.
They'll tag him.
You think?
Because the tag's like 14, I think.
Okay.
So they'll tag him, make him do this again, and then they'll have to pay him.
That's great. Do you think he'll want to do that? You think he'll show up to camp?
Yeah, I think he will. But I don't think he wants to be tagged. I think he wants to get paid.
I mean, nobody wants to get tagged.
But
unless you're a quarterback.
But
I know. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think they're going to tag him. I think the other thing, too, Dylan Radins, everybody that covers this team thinks Dylan Radins is going to start tonight.
I don't know.
How scared to death would you guys be about drafting high in the draft to fix the offensive line when you look at the fact that they've used high picks on tackles in each of the last 2 drafts, and they really don't have much to show for it except for one guy that might play his first game tonight, and we're holding on to the deck chair praying that it's not an unmitigated disaster.
You got to keep swinging, man. You can't be.
I agree.
You can't be. You got to.
But I said, how do we feel?
You got to have a closer's mentality. And that is to just forget about what happened in the past, or a gambler's mentality. I mean, you lose, and you just gotta, just let it go and keep firing. And I'm sure that's the way JR thinks.
But this is a great opportunity. I mean, and when I say this, I know this sounds coach talk, whatever. It's a great opportunity for him to showcase why they picked him in the 2nd round. Just imagine that he comes out and dominate. It's going to build confidence in the fans. It's going to build confidence in.
I went to
his coaches.
every training camp practice.
Did he look that bad?
I cannot. You say just imagine him dominating. I cannot imagine.
You just
him
never
dominating.
something may click. Maybe,
I know.
Maybe when he was in camp, he was just trying to feel his way and understand what was going on, and you play a little slow. But it's not working. Is it? I'm trying.
Why'd they draft Isaiah Wilson in the first round?
I know, man. I'm trying to find something positive.
Holy cow!
I'm trying.
And yet they've overcome that, and look where they are.
I'm giving them all there, Mark.
Here's the thing I was thinking about today, like when trying to couch it all and be honest about, and I thought, the defense is much improved from last year to Chris's point, but the offense is really, brought it back a couple notches, which is why you're almost flipping the script from what you were last year.
Right.
And then I thought about it. Well, it's because Derrick Henry got hurt. At the end of the day, there are just some players around the league that when this guy gets hurt, you say, oh, well, this guy gets hurt, their season is ruined. Mm-hmm. Derrick is that kind of player around here.
Derrick has sort of a Mary Kay effect on the Titans offense, and that is
makes everybody better looking.
He sort of covers up their inadequacies and makes them look good. You're right. It's amazing, and I got to admit, when we were debating, Tannehill over Derrick Henry. I mean, if it was an either or, it was interesting the way the debate went. And you know what? I mean, you think about it now, and there wouldn't be really any questions. So
yeah, I mean,
well, it's funny you say that. Floyd said on the air at the time, "I'm either bringing them both back or I'm not bringing either back." I know. I rolled my eyes. Rolled my eyes when he said that, but now I'm looking at Tannehill without Henry, and I'm like, maybe the old man was onto something.
Yeah, but it just shows you how valuable Derrick is. I mean, Derrick is very, very valuable. And then I think the question that
Derrick's a Hall of Fame player. How can you let him walk?
I know. But it just we talked about this earlier this year and last year that if Derrick Henry got hurt, could Tannehill still take this team to victory? I mean, could he still win the big games?
And the answer is no.
But they're still 9-5. So he's doing.
Because Derrick got him like 7 wins.
I know, but still, I mean, it's going to be showcased tonight. If he goes out here and puts on a display, would that build confidence in him to take this team to the next level?
Well, I also think that you need to come to grips with who Tannehill is as a quarterback, and he's not a guy who can put a team on his back. He needs a supporting cast.
Then can I pay him less?
He had one up until Henry gets hurt.
I know, but then can I pay him less? Like, if he's a guy who's not going to be able to carry the team, then can I pay him like Tyrod Taylor?
At the time, he had some leverage.
He had a big-time leverage.
The inactives today for San Francisco, again, those are presented by Hillside Medical Clinic. Dre Greenlaw, linebacker. Safety, Talanoa Hufanaga.
Yep.
Defensive lineman Maurice Hurst, offensive lineman Colton McKivitz, and running back Elijah Mitchell are out today for San Francisco. Mike Vrabel's keys to the game, presented by Hillside Medical Clinic. How do you stop Travis Kelce? How do you stop George Kittle, 425 yards over his last 3 games? Tell us, Coach Vrabel.
You swarm. I used the other day as an example. We had 3 missed tackles on 1 play on defense, and they gained a yard. I mean, guys were running. And so you don't love the 3 missed tackles, but you love, the swarm in which guys were running. So we're going to need to get as many people to the football as possible. He's very good with the football. He's an excellent player. Speed, catch radius. He's a very good player.
Chris, one thing he brought up was the swarm. We saw this against the Steelers. The Titans' defense is doing a fantastic job at swarming to the football. What do you make about the effort that they've been playing?
Oh, man, I commend it. I mean, they're flying around. There's 8 or 9 hats to the ball, and they definitely have to do it this game. And when he talked a little bit about Kittle, about swarming to the ball, I know they're going to do that. But I think the defense needs to know where he's lined up. I mean, that's the key. If you know where he's lined up, if he's lined up in the slot, if he's lined up, right next to the tackle, wherever he's lined up, then now you can adjust to double him or bracket him or go man-to-man or send a safety on him or jam him at the line of scrimmage. Those are some of the things you can do because, they're going to swarm to the ball. They're going to hit him in the lips. But we got to understand that where he is lined up on the field, that's going to be the key.
I just love the mentality that this defense has played with, the physicality and the resiliency. I mean, look how many short fields did Pittsburgh have last week that they could only get a field goal out of? I thought that was huge.
Their offense was terrible.
That was something that would have never done last year.
Yeah.
So I just like the way, as Chris said, I like the way they run to the ball.
Yeah, and
they've been pretty effective as tacklers. you just don't see guys getting a lot of yards after catch against them.
It's just an attitude. I mean, look at how physical. I mean, it's not just, Autry or Dupree or Simmons or Landry. I mean, the secondary's flying around. Byard is flying around. The safeties other safeties are flying around. The corners are flying around. It just shows you that they take pride in running through somebody's face.
What do you guys think as far as confidence is that the Titans defense can make San Francisco turn the football over and maybe give them a shot with the offense in the slump and situation they're in?
I think they have faced this before. Mm-hmm. They faced it in Los Angeles. They faced it against Kansas City, where the defense was going to have to make a play maybe, to fuel the offense or to change the momentum in the game. And I think they're capable of that. I think absolutely. I think, you look at Kern as a punter. He needs to have a good night. Field position, I think, is going to be important as well. And you look at all those little things, and you cramp Garoppolo up inside of his 10, and then all of a sudden the Titans' defense can sort of work its magic.
I think their confidence is running high because they face better offenses. And you kind of agree with me, or you maybe can disagree. Do you think the Rams' offense is better than the 49ers?
Yeah.
Bills?
Yeah.
So if you stop them, I don't think it's no difference with the 49ers. I think the 49ers have some great players, Samuel, Ayuk, and Garoppolo, but I think they're going to get some turnovers and flip the field and score on defense.
Coming up next, Teron Davenport has an idea of who will be starting for the Titans on the offensive line.
I can't wait.
What does TD have to say? He'll join us from Nissan Stadium. That's next. We're live from Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House in East Nashville. It's the pregame show on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Can the Titans offense get going and put them back on Santa's nice list?
He's going to power across for the Titan touchdown.
Or will Jimmy G and the 49ers deliver Cole for the two-tone blue this year?
Off out of the backfield and into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers.
We'll have full reaction all day Friday to Titans 49ers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Family Leisure would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas from our family to yours.
Throughout this holiday season.
And to celebrate this joyous season, Family Leisure is having a Christmas sale up to 50% off everything in the store.
Wow, that'll really help out.
Arcade games, game tables, pool tables, even shuffleboard tables are on sale. Foosball and air hockey tables as low as $1.99 as well.
A pool table and game table from Family are a great gift for the family.
Family Leisure has spas in stock and on sale and ready for immediate delivery.
Wow, that sounds like a great gift to us.
Family Leisure has up to 50% off on infrared saunas, ready for immediate delivery as well.
But what about something for the kids?
Family Leisure has deluxe outdoor play gyms on sale and starting at just $26.99 installed. Vuli trampolines start at $22.99.
That all sounds great.
That's Family Leisure's Christmas sale going on now.
At both huge locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Family and fun come together. Are you interested in starting your own business? Join the Blink Law Entrepreneur Summit on February 2nd for their one-day event to help anyone start a business. Not only will you hear from experienced entrepreneurs from a variety of fields, but all attendees will also get a one-on-one consultation with an attorney who will register your business. You will leave the event with certified documents and an officially registered business. This is a great opportunity for anyone who wants to jumpstart a new business. For more information and to register, go to facebook.com/BlinkLawLLC.
Music City Man Cave Luxury Men's Grooming is not your everyday nail salon. They specialize in custom hand and foot treatments for men only. As Nashville's first and only all-male hand and foot spa, they curate healthy, solution-oriented manicures and pedicures designed especially for men. From their comfortable environment, aromas, and overall focus on your self-care, everything is designed to make men feel comfortable. Book your appointment today by calling 615-975-2201 or online at musiccitymancave.com. Refining the confidence in men. Luxury grooming, man cave feeling.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
From Franklin to Germantown,
You're forcing defenses to make a decision.
we are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. It's game day for the Two-Tone Blue. And we're inching closer to kickoff. This is the NFL Pregame with Jared Stillman, forever receiver Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard. Now, let's get an update from the stadium with ESPN's Teron Davenport, brought to you by Freedom Tire Guys on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Teron Davenport, as always, is presented by Freedom Tire Guys, Nashville's premier mobile tire company. Online at freedomtireguys.com. TD had a tweet out today, just moments ago, as to who may be the left tackle of the Tennessee Titans tonight with Taylor Lewan and Kendall Lamb out. TD, please share with us your expectation at left tackle for the Titans today.
Yeah, it's going to be Dylan Raines at left tackle, and, I mean, the expectation is just for him to have a lot of help, and it's going to be a gradual process for him. I'll say this, man. I saw Nick Bosa in person, and, you know, up close and personal. That dude is one muscle. That's it. So they're going to have to give a lot of help. You could, if you, like, seeing him in person, his quads and everything, I'm not going to get into the anatomy and all that, but I'll just say this. You could tell why he plays with so much explosiveness. So that's going to be a big problem for them. And he has that liberty to line up on whichever side that he wants. If I was him, I would line up on the left side and just feast. And here's the big problem. And I flashed this back to watching the training camp. Ola Adeni going against him. And let me tell you, he was smoking him on multiple reps. And the big thing that really hurt him was his ability just to contrast his body and just, you know, bend that edge. And that's something that Nick Bosa is able to do in addition to just how strong he is. So this could be a bad situation at the left tackle. But, I mean, you know from watching this team all the time, when it's not likely for them to win, how many times have they been able to come out on top and get the victory?
TD, give me some good news. How did A.J. Brown look in warm-ups and Julio Jones with his hamstring?
Yeah, you know, I didn't see Julio come out. I saw A.J. Brown, and, I mean, A.J. looked fine. There weren't any issues or anything like that. He was able to move around, and I would expect to see, you know, him be himself. And we talked about that earlier on the Power Hour. You know, the play action, the slant across the middle, that glance route, those are going to be the opportunities for him to get you that big explosive plays that this offense has been lacking.
We're speaking to the always dapper Teron Davenport, the Titans beat writer for ESPN and ESPN.com. And TD, you know, you talked about Bosa, but what about the interior with Armstead against the Titans interior with, you know, DJ Jones and the depth that these guys have, you know, with Key and Ebicon?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing you have to look at, how tall Armstead is and the way that he's able to, you know, if he's not getting to the quarterback, he has that length and he could clog up passing lanes. So that's something else to look at. I mean, with no Aaron Jones, with no Roger Saffold, you got Aaron Brewer coming in place of him, and, you know, that's going to be an interesting matchup. And I think, you know, when you're playing in that phone booth, the lower man, like, always wins. So that's going to be something to watch. But I still, it's all about, you got to get the ball out fast. I think that's really the answer to whatever this front is going to do. You got to get the ball out fast, shorter passing routes, and those type of things.
Titans did an excellent job of moving the chains last week, dominated time of possession. But the 49ers are second in the league against the run. Do you see Todd Downing sprinkling in more passing plays because of that?
No, I would still run the football. I think they're giving up, 108 yards per game? You know, rushing. So the opportunity to run the football is there. And I think, you know, it's something that they've done well. in fact. I mean, you look, the last 4 games, they've been over 100 yards. 2 of those 4 games, they've gotten over 200. Now, it's a different 100 and 200 yards than you get with Derrick Henry because there's usually 3 touchdowns attached to that. But I still think that they can run the ball effectively, and they shouldn't, change anything as far as that's concerned. Still go out and do what you do.
Yeah, hey, what's up, TD? How you doing, man? You look dapper today.
Right,
You doing all right?
Mookie. Oh, yeah, I'm doing excellent. How are you?
Come on, Sam Cassell, man. but hey, man, Garoppolo is on fire right now. He's completing 67% of his passes, 8 interceptions. What do the Tennessee Titans front 4 need to do to get to Garoppolo?
Yeah, I think it's get that interior pressure, and you gotta hit him early, because he's one of those type of players where he sees shadows in the pocket. If you follow me, so you can really create those shadows from getting some hard hits on him, hard, clean hits on him early in the game, and that just kind of sets the tone to let him know, like, hey, look, man, like this is no cake in the walk. It's going to be hard times. Like, you about to do some hard times, on Rikers Island or something like that. You got to establish that with him. And I think that's what you have to do, just hit him.
Yeah, I want to talk about a player that, man, is explosive and who's one of the best players all around the league is Deebo Samuels. What do the Tennessee Titans need to do to keep them from beating them on a deep pass or a speed sweep or even playing in the Wildcat? What do the Tennessee Titans need to do to stop him?
You got to flock to the football, and you can't fall victim to the window dressing and all the stuff that's happening to take your eye away from where the ball's going. And a lot of times, 44 is the one the key. Typically, he will take you to the ball. That's the 49ers are coming out and you get some blues there. But yeah, he'll take you to the ball. So you just got to watch him. And again, that stuff that they do up front, misdirection and all that. You can't fall victim to it. You can't take the eye candy.
TD's with us. He's live at Nissan Stadium. When do you expect Julio to be out there, and should we be worried about the hamstring? How much will you be watching the hamstring once you see him hit the field?
Yeah, I'm going to be watching it closely just to see how he's able, just short burst type of running. That's really the thing that you got to watch out for and see if that works, because that's what the hamstring does. It's for your burst and the ability to explode that way. And I'm going to watch that. It's not as cold out here as I thought it would be.
Oh, he's got that cricket phone.
And your tendons and everything, like they I don't know what the word, they constrict, I guess you could say. Like they squeeze up when it's colder. And it's not 20 degrees out here. So that's a big thing for a guy like him who's dealing with hamstring.
Teron, if I were a betting man, I would take the over in yardage for George Kittle. He's a Nashville resident. He's pumped about coming here. He's going to have a bit of a cheering section. How did the Titans defend him tonight?
Block to the football. Gang tackle. That's what you have to do. Like, you have to just the first man gets there, hold him. Second man, help hold him. And third man, you bring him down. You know what I mean? And fourth man, as he's going down, try to punch it up. Like, that's really what it's about, because that dude is just such a physical runner. And I call him the angry tight end, man. That's what he is. He's a baller. And the energy he brings, you just got to match it with by taking him down.
Man, just looking at Tannehill, I mean, I know he struggled this whole season. He's been struggling a little bit this season. What does Tannehill need to do to improve or gain some confidence to get this offense going?
Come out in tempo. Coach Downing needs to dial up tempo offense, get him in a rhythm, allow him to be able to, make things happen that way as far as, getting that confidence, that cockiness back, right? And that's the best way to do it. It creates urgency. A lot of people don't understand how that tempo just makes everybody in the huddle. It just speeds things up mentally, and it just, I don't know, it just has that way, like I said, create urgency. So do that. Allow a lot of quick, easy throws, so that way he can get his cockiness back and not get blasted. This matchup isn't really the best matchup for a guy like Tannehill, when you have how this front is.
Teron Davenport live at Nissan Stadium, presented by FreedomTireGuys.com. TD, we will see you soon. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, man. You guys enjoy the game as well, man.
Appreciate you,
Primetime
Doc.
football,
Appreciate you, Sam.
What better place? All right.
Yep. TD joining us live from Nissan Stadium. Dylan Radins,
Let's go.
ladies and gentlemen, will be getting – Jared, do you have that clip of when Dylan Radins was selected by the Titans?
Yes, 1 second.
Just for our listening audience, we were here at Boombah's Craft Pizza and Tap House 6 months ago, or however many months ago the draft was, and the Tennessee Titans decided to select some guy that I had never heard of who will be playing left tackle tonight against Nick Bosa.
Like you mentioned, you're going to see AJ out here and see where he's at.
That's not the right one. I appreciate the effort, though. But
swing and a miss.
But more importantly, I lost my mind.
Dude.
Dylan Radin starts tonight. Any faith, Mark Howard?
No. I'm just going on history. And I'm just hoping, he can be average.
Dang.
I'm hoping he can be below average.
Why?
Because below average is better than abysmal. And I am worried that what I saw in training camp with my eyes was if this guy wasn't picked in the second round this year, he'd be on the cut list.
Was it that bad?
It was bad.
But I got faith in him. I got faith in him.
This is their sixth choice to start at tackle.
I believe he can do it, and the reason why I say I believe he can do it is because Todd Downing is going to put him in position, put a tight end over there, and give it his all.
Are you guys worried at all about the idea that this could ruin his career?
No.
Like from a confidence standpoint, national TV, left tackle against Nick Bosa, and if he gets embarrassed, that could just set his confidence just in the tank?
If one game, ruins him, then he shouldn't be playing in the league. Because that's what the league is all about, is recovering, from bad games.
I'm telling you, and I said this a little earlier, that this is why Ben Jones is so important in this game, because there's going to be a lot of twists and dogs and mugs and all that stuff, to where I think Ben Jones needs to set the front and say, okay, this guy's coming. Watch this guy. Watch this number. He's twisting, all that, to make sure that Radins is prepared on what's coming. Because I'm going to tell you something. They are going to bring some stuff to try to confuse him, to try to get after Cunningham.
Boy, I'm worried. I'm worried. Coming up on the other side, picks to click. Who's got a click for a Titans victory? Plus, we'll make our game day predictions and take a look at the sports books. That's all coming up next, live from Boombox Craft Pizza and Tap House in East Nashville. It's a pregame show on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ESPN's Teron Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Presented by FreedomTireGuys.com, Nashville's premier mobile tire company, and Craneworks and Rental Works, your source for crane and equipment rental. Visit Craneworks.com. Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
BetOnline.net has you covered as football season heads to the playoffs, plus pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, even live scores of games. BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
The devastating storms across the region have created a monumental need for blood to care for the victims of this tragedy. Now more than ever, find it in your heart to donate blood and help save lives. Blood Assurance is the area's local community blood centers, and they have locations throughout Middle Tennessee, including Clarksville, Cool Springs, and Hermitage. You can go to bloodassurance.org/schedule for information. Give blood, give local, save lives.
Response to Genesis Diamond's fantastic 12 days finance offer was incredible, so we've decided to extend it through Christmas Eve. Last minute shoppers, we're taking care of you at Genesis. You can come in now and get 5 years, 0 interest financing on any holiday purchase. All fashion jewelry is included, all colored gemstone jewelry, and yes, all diamond jewelry, including engagement rings. Get a $12,000 designer ring with a GIA center diamond and pay just $200 a month with 0 down. Or watch her eyes sparkle when she sees that $6,000 pair of diamond earrings you got for just $100 a month. At Genesis Diamonds, celebrating love is our specialty, and there's no better time than the holidays to let us help you show your love in a meaningful way. Don't miss this special extended 5-year zero-interest finance offer, now through Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills and Cool Springs. On approved credit, see store for details.
Hey, it's Jared from My Official Sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. He's making a list, he's checking it twice, and he's giving away up to $7 million in gifts over 7 days on FanDuel. That's right, Santa Barkley is back, and Charles is giving away more than ever this holiday season through the FanDuel Sportsbook app. New and existing users open the FanDuel Sportsbook app every day between December 21st and December 27th for a new gift from Santa Chuck. Got same-game parlays, daily odds boost, and, of course, you can pick a team you think will win over Christmas Day and the weekend. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and it's My Official Sportsbook app. It's the #1 destination for NFL and NBA betting. It's safe and easy to use. And when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 2 hours. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up with the promo code JGM to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000 and make every moment more holiday season. That's promo code JGM. Don't forget to check out the FanDuel Sportsbook app every day from December 21st to the 27th to see what Santa Barkley has brought you. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Void where prohibited. Restrictions and wager requirements apply. See terms at FanDuel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
This is NFL Pregame. And it's time for Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard to make their picks to click. Brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
So I don't want to give my own self props because, well, I don't give myself enough credit. I let everybody else, Mark Howard, give me all the credit. But I did pick Deontay Foreman as my pick to click last week for the Titans, and I think he might have been the only guy who clicked anyways. So, high five, Ladarius. There you go. All right, time to pick and click, presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Chris Sanders.
Yes, sir.
Who's got a click today for the Titans on offense?
You know I was going to go with the obvious, but I'm going to flip the script a little bit. I'm going to go with Hilliard. I'm going to go with Hilliard. And the reason why I'm going to go with him is because if they stop Foreman, he's more of a quicker back. He may hit a long one, a 60-yard run. I just think that with the fast-flowing defense and they run that zone read, I think he can hit one downtown.
So he said he wanted to go with the obvious, so I'll flip the script. So you literally went the exact opposite. The only one that would have been more surprising is if you had gone with Ferkser at this point with the way he's been playing. Dontrell Hilliard.
Yeah.
Honestly, Hilliard's fine. He's doing okay.
Yeah.
It's time, in my opinion, it's time for Foreman to be the lead back now until Derek gets back.
I agree with you 100%, but I'm just saying when he gets in there, because Foreman's going to wear that defensive front down, maybe. But Hilliard can hit the home run and take it 60 yards. We saw what he did. What game did he run that
Patriots.
game? Patriots. He hit the hole, and he's gone, and nobody could catch him. All we need is maybe 1 or 2 of those runs, and he has over 100 yards.
Mark Howard, your pick to click.
I'm going to say Ryan Tannehill because I think he got a little bit of a bad rap last week with the way that he played. He didn't get a lot of support. Yeah, he did turn the ball over once, but they dominated, moving up and down the field, and he just didn't have a whole lot to work with. So hopefully with Julio and A.J. Brown out there, maybe he can flash a little bit tonight.
What would clicking for Ryan Tannehill really be tonight?
Get me to 250 yards, and maybe they win the game. Or maybe they're playing from behind. I don't know.
So my pick to click today is going to be Nate Davis. I'm going to pull a Floyd here.
That's worse
than Nate Davis and David Quessenberry, because the Titans got to run to the right today.
They do.
Dylan Radins and Aaron Brewer on the left, or run to the right, run, punt, run with Foreman, run with Foreman, run with Foreman, punt with Kern. That's what I would do today, and I'd run it to the right with Nate Davis and Quessenberry, and I'd give him a little help on the tight end spot as well with Swaim, and I'd just run it and see how far I could get today.
Sounds like sound strategy.
No.
Chris is too good for that.
No, I'm just kidding. No,
Defensive pick to click, Chris Sanders.
I am going to go with Byard. And the reason why I'm going to go with Byard, I think this is the makeup of what happened in the Rams game. You know, they come in with a hot quarterback with Stafford. Stafford came in, or they went to L.A. and you know, Bayer got a big-time pick to really set the tone and had a pick six. So I just think that Garoppolo's going to do something crazy, and I think that Bayer's going to come up with a pick six, and that's what's going to turn the game.
I'm going to say Big Jeff. If Jeffrey Simmons dominates.
By the way, I just want you guys to know that you guys have picked those two players for picks to click every game this season.
but it's true. If Jeffrey Simmons has a big game, the rest of the defense follows suit. It's as simple as that.
Hey, what player went to the Pro Bowl this year?
Kevin Byard.
Okay, thanks.
Titans had one Pro Bowler, Kevin Byard, which we'll get into in just a second. I defensively am going to go with Harold Landry. Landry was an alternate for the Pro Bowl. A lot of people thought maybe he should have made it. Now, I don't understand how you could possibly think that he should be in there over, T.J. Watt and the guys that are outside linebackers in the AFC. But Harold Landry today, I think that Trent Williams is going to have Bud Dupree. And I think that you're going to see maybe if anybody can get to Garoppolo and really throw him off his spot, it's going to be Harold Landry today. And we haven't really seen Harold have the big impact that he had earlier in the season as of late.
Yeah, well, he's got 11 sacks, so I just think that offenses are kind of figuring out where he's at to kind of eliminate him from making those explosive plays.
But I also think with Dupree, and that should make him better.
100%.
Those are our picks to click, presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Chris brought this up. Titans with one Pro Bowler, Kevin Byard. Meanwhile, Indianapolis had seven Pro Bowlers named the team. Jeff Simmons not named. The Titans did have a handful of alternates, including guys who have no business being alternates like Taylor Lewan. But
he's an alternate.
Yeah. But
stop it. Stop it.
But one Pro Bowler, a lot of Titan fans upset about Jeffrey Simmons not being included on the Pro Bowl roster. Do you two guys have any problem with only Kevin Byard representing the Titans this year?
Yeah, I thought Simmons should have made it. And I know that
over Chris Jones, over Cam Hayward, over DeForest Buckner.
You want to? Hey, you might do Michael Jackson.
It's close.
Yeah.
And the argument is Simmons has really only had, a few great games.
Yeah.
And otherwise he's been quiet. So it's a lesson to him that you got to bring it every week.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he just played in spurts. There's times where you heard him, then all of a sudden 2 or 3 games you don't hear nothing about him. Then all of a sudden he makes some explosive plays. So it's about being consistent. So he'll get a chance to get to the Pro Bowl.
What did you make of the fact that no offensive players this year went? I thought if anybody got snubbed, I thought Derek still should have been on the Pro Bowl team.
I don't know.
For the way that he performed earlier in the season, Derrick Henry, to me, Joe Mixon was the third running back from the AFC. I think Derek's 2021 has been more impressive than Joe Mixon, considering the fact that Derek has carried his team to where we sit today, which is the 3rd seed in the AFC, and he hasn't played in a month and a half.
I think the way the voting goes, and Chris, you can chime in on this, Derrick Henry being hurt for basically the second half of the season, the players voting especially, he's sort of out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind, and I think that hurt him, but it wouldn't have been the worst selection.
Yeah, I mean, he's 100% right. I mean, when you're hurt, I think a lot of guys shy away from doing that.
I just think that, like, in baseball, guy gets hurt, and they're like, selected to start but unable to do so due to injury, Ken Griffey Jr. And it's like, Derrick Henry, should be, that kind of mix as far as the Pro Bowl is concerned. Last year, A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry were the only 2 representatives. How does Indianapolis get 7 Pro Bowlers and the Titans get 1?
Indianapolis, with the exception of quarterback, is a really good team. It's a really good roster. I don't know if I don't necessarily agree with you on Frank Reich, but whatever the case, they've got a great roster. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I mean,
you looked at Mark like he was crazy when he said that he didn't agree with me on Frank Reich.
Frank Reich, he's a good coach.
I don't think he's a good coach.
I think he's pretty good.
I think he's got his head stuck up his bum. I think he's one of these coaches who, he talks well in press conferences, so people are like, hey, he's a good coach, but he goes for it at, the dumbest times. He puts the ball in the hands of the quarterback when he should put the ball in the hands of the running back on every play.
Is he Brandon Staley dumb?
Right.
Well, you remember that they were up 14-0 on the Titans. He went for it on 4th and 3.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He trusts his players.
That doesn't matter,
Yeah,
Chris.
okay. I'm gonna give you a question. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm gonna tell you why.
Because when you trust your players like that, hey, I trust my offense on 4th and 5 from the 5,
right.
or 4th and goal from the 5. I trust my offense.
Okay.
You know what that also
I'ma
tells
tell
me?
you, okay.
I don't
I got
trust my
something for you.
defense.
Right. No, but here's the deal. Okay, this earlier in the year, Quentin Nelson came up to him and said, "Coach, let's run the ball 9 straight times." A head coach says, "Okay, let's do it." And they went and they drove down the field with a 15-play drive and said, and they scored. Basically saying, okay, you take over the team. Yeah, he may have made some bad calls, but he's saying if my player that I trust say, let's go for it on 4th down, then I'm going to do it, even if we miss it. That means that you have a great relationship with your players. So I looked at that. To me, that's a great coach because you trust your players.
And the crazy thing is they have drafted way better than the Titans.
Jared, I love you, man. I'm just
Chris
telling
Sanders' logic.
Go
Go figure.
Hey, the offensive guard went to the coach, said, let's run it 9 straight times. First of all, Indianapolis should never run a play that is not a run with Jonathan Taylor.
No. But here's the deal. I got to finish that story. When they made the touchdown, Quentin Nelson came back to him and said, "Coach, thank you for trusting me." Come on, that's football.
Remember
man.
a couple years ago, Harbaugh went for it on 4th down in Seattle because Lamar Jackson said they'd get it.
Yeah, but
it worked, and everyone was like, "Great, he believes in his players." And Harbaugh keeps going for it. And guess what happens to Harbaugh?
God, Harbaugh.
Yeah, but I'm not a Harbaugh fan.
I know, because he's a bad coach. Because he goes for it every 4th down. The problem that drives me crazy about the national media, as far as the NFL is concerned, is any coach who goes for it on 4th down is a genius. Like 4th and goal from the 5. And I don't know what analytic numbers they have, but at what point is it too far away to go for it? Because, I understand 4th and goal at the 2. I don't understand 4th and goal at the 5 like the Charger coach did last week.
That's crazy.
And then, so what, now 4th and goal from the 7? You still want to go for it? When do you not go for it anymore?
I don't know there, Jared.
Jared's rant of the day. All right, coming up next, we'll take a look at the sports books. What are they saying about the Titans and the 49ers? And we'll have our final game day predictions. That's coming up next, live from Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House in East Nashville. It's a pregame show on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Take us wherever you may go. There is going to be a whole lot of work going on. Shoot us in anywhere, anytime.
I think he has some big play in him.
Just search The Game Nashville in your app store and download today. And keep it locked on Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobis. Our warming trend will continue overnight tonight into the weekend. Overnight temperatures going to be in the middle 40s. Your Friday, very warm, middle 60s and bright sunshine. Christmas Day, low to middle 70s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the happy face truck today.
Here we are again, Finn, stocking up for the big day at Port Vu. That's right, Jolly. 10,000 square feet of wine, spirits, and over 1,500 domestic import and craft beers with a massive array of canned cocktails. Port Vu has an amazing selection. Port Vu makes it easy to stock the sleigh with everything we'll need for our holiday parties and even last-minute gift ideas. But will it all fit in the sleigh? Not to worry, Finn. I placed our order on the online Port Vu app, and I've arranged for curbside pickup at no charge. They even offer home delivery for the rest. What you getting for Trixie? Hard to find small batch, special selections, tequila? Yes, Trixie loves that tequila, just like Blitzen. That's how he got his name, huh? Ooh, party supplies. Everything for our elf soiree. And Port Vu always gives us 10% off wine by the case. What are we getting the big guy? Well, after a long night of flying around the world, he likes to kick back with a good stogie. Port Vu has a walk-in humidor full of fine cigars. Look, a tasting bar.
Port Vu, Indian Lake Boulevard in Hendersonville.
Ryan Porth here to share how you can ring in the new year with Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. Do you want a healthier mouth for life? Would you like to snore less and breathe better at night without being tied down to a CPAP machine? Dr. Rice and her wonderful staff can help with your dental work or sleep apnea needs. I have been visiting Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine in Cool Springs for 19 years now. So do what my family has done and go to kellyerice.com to schedule your visit today. You'll be glad you did.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
Jared Stillman.
I cannot believe they picked this guy I've never heard of.
And company.
You're forced to play cap gymnastics, which makes it a little bit more difficult for picking up other guys.
Tune in Stillman and Company for your drive home. Delivered by TriStar Moving. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Greg McElroy, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Titans and 49ers, 7:20 kickoff at Nissan Stadium. We're live at Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House in East Nashville for the pregame show. By the way, it should be noted the Titans have won 5 of their last 6 at Nissan Stadium, including when they were underdogs against the Bills and the Chiefs. And the one loss in that 5 of 6 games, the Texans. You know what's really going to kill you if the Titans end up not getting the 1 seed, or if the Titans end up not making the playoffs, or the Texans, the Jets, the Steelers. Those would be the ones that will keep you up at night.
Yep.
Those are the ones that will put Mike Vrabel on the hot seat next year if they don't start winning them.
No. Good God.
Absolutely.
I said
not going
next
anywhere.
season.
Stop it.
Next season.
Stop it.
You've tried to fire everybody, and you haven't been able to do
He
it.
tried to fire the offensive coordinator the first day he got there.
No. I was never anti-Downing until now. I'm getting a little worried about
do
Downing.
we need some
Tried to
tapes?
fire the defensive coordinator.
I did. That one I did, yeah. And the special teams coach, but trying to fire him
Oh,
for
the
4
offensive
years.
line coach.
Oh, yeah, he got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. You watch left tackle today.
Boy,
watch left tackle,
Stop
and
it.
you tell me, second-round pick right there.
He going to dominate, I'm telling you. Ratings.
You want to bet on it?
Yeah.
That's such a subjective
I know,
thing, though.
man. I mean, what? He won't get beat on some plays.
He will get beat on some plays.
What's the
I'm just
over-under
trying to
for
be
sacks allowed on that side?
I don't know. I'm just as long as he gives it his all, that's all that matters.
The latest odds on today's
And there's
games.
no I in
There's
team.
no I in team.
Going to go to the trophy shop and get him a congratulations participation trophy. Congratulations on your first NFL start. The entire city is holding their collective breath. The latest odds on today's game are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook app. And we take a look at the FanDuel Sportsbook app. The Titans are 3.5-point underdogs today at home to the 49ers at plus 158. Meanwhile, minus 188 for San Francisco on the money line at minus 3.5. Passing, what would you guys put passing yards at over under Ryan Tannehill today?
I would say over 190.
I would say over 218.
Mark Howard. Now, if this is Price is Right, you lose. But if it's anything else, you win. 215.5 for Ryan Tannehill today. You know, Price is Right, you can't go over. So
I understand.
Rushing or receiving yards, leading the way. Surprise, surprise. George Kittle at 70.5.
I'll say over.
Yeah, I think George Kittle, I'm telling you, this is a game he wants to play well in because he lives here and he's got a lot of friends in the stands. I know that, what's different from, say, a home game, but this is sort of a home game for Kittle.
Can I change it? I'm going to say under. Under 80.
Under 80 for who?
Kittle.
Well, the number 70.5.
Oh, I didn't hear you say the number. I didn't hear you say the number. What was the number?
70.5.
I would say over.
So you think he's going to have between 70.5 and 80?
Yeah.
Okay. We will go back and look at that. A.J. Brown, what would you guys say for today?
65. I actually think it's way less.
I say 52.
57.5 today is the number on A.J. Brown. Deebo Samuel, 48.5. Jawan Jennings, 19.5. Brandon Ayuk, 48.5. Nick Westbrook-Akina, 23.5. Julio Jones, not listed at all. In fact, Deontay Foreman you can bet before you can bet Julio Jones. I would take this one. Anthony Ferkser, under 11.5. Go ahead and mark me down for that one. Under that one. Taking a look at
He's so crazy.
player
How do you really feel?
I know. Goodness
I think
gracious.
Ferkser should be cut. That's how I really feel.
See, we wanted to cuff Jeff Swayman. He's actually
my goodness,
been okay.
You sound like me.
Player rushing yards. This is another free one, Mark Howard. What would you put Ryan Tannehill at? Rushing yards for today.
11.
14 and a half.
I can't call it. I was going to say 16, man.
How many rushing yards do you think Tannehill will get?
I'll say 16.
I think Tannehill will get more than 14 and a half. Deontay Foreman, what would you guys put at that one?
51.
62.
52 and a half, Chris Sanders.
Come on, man. Price is right,
52.
baby.
52. Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo rushing yards over under.
11.
I say 13.
2.5.
2.5.
For the Titans today, I got to tell you, like, my problem with betting the Titans is that the second you think the Titans are going to do something, they turn around and they go out and they do the exact opposite.
Yep.
So, again, those are a look at the Sportsbook odds. Titans 3.5-point dogs, and the Sportsbook odds are presented by FanDuel Sportsbook app. That's my official Sportsbook app, and they are America's #1 Sportsbook app. Time now for our final game day predictions. Who wins tonight and why between the Titans and the 49ers? Our final game day picks are brought to you every week by Social Furniture, located at 5412 Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. It should be noted Mark Howard and I both correctly picked the Steelers to win on Sunday, though we only picked them by 3. They ended up winning by 6. Chris Sanders,
Yes.
Who wins today and why?
I'm going to go with the Titans 24-14. The reason why I say 24-14, this is a deja vu of the Rams game. I mean, you come in with a hot quarterback. Stafford was hot. Now it's Garoppolo that's hot, and we picked him apart, and he was confused the whole game, and Byard had a big day. I think the exact same thing is going to happen. I think Garoppolo is going to get confused in the secondary, get hit, throw a pick six. Tennessee Titans 24, 49ers 14.
There was one major difference between this game and the L.A. Rams game. Dylan Radins didn't play left tackle. Bobby Hart, whom the Titans later put on the practice squad and then was
like
claimed
Bruce Matthews now.
by somebody else, which if they didn't have to waste a roster spot on Radins because they drafted him in the second round, Bobby Hart be playing left tackle tonight. Bobby Hart played left tackle in that game. Mark Howard, who wins tonight and why?
Against all logic, the Titans win 20-16 as the defense shines again.
Yep.
I'm going to pick the Titans, too. I'm going to make it 3 for 3. I'm going to take the Titans. I think the Titans will get it done. I think the final score. Here's what's interesting to me about the Titans. I think the Titans are going to win, and I think it's going to be a wacky game. Like wacky, all over the place, crazy turnovers. Like a game that you would expect to see when the Chicago Bears play and miraculously win a game. I'm going to take the Titans by a final score of 23-18.
What?
So weird. It's going to be a weird game today. 23-18, and Deontay Foreman runs for 100 yards today for the Titans.
Okay.
Again, our final game day predictions are presented by Social Furniture, 5412 Charlotte Avenue
Jared
in West
will be
Nashville.
issued a breathalyzer before he leaves there.
Shop local, shop social. That'll do it for us. We are out of here. We'll be back a week from Sunday as the Titans get set to take on the Miami Dolphins. Reaction tomorrow at noon. Stillman & Company special start time. And again, we will wish everybody a very happy holiday and a very happy Thursday night football. We'll see you. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Yep.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Closer, bolder, golden. Nashville SC Stadium is arriving in 2022, and season tickets are on sale now. With just 150 feet between the pitch and the last row, you'll be right there in the action no matter where you sit. If you thought soccer in Nashville was a party already, you ain't seen nothing yet. So come on in, grab a seat, and stay a while as we open a new era of Nashville sports. For more information on season tickets at the new Nashville SC Stadium, visit nashvillesc.com/22 ticks.
Hey, it's Caroline Fenton, and you already know how pumped I am for bowl season, and you also know that 312 Pizza Company is my favorite place in town. Whether it's grabbing a drink, enjoying a slice of pizza, catching a game or two, or recording Southeastern Carolines, 312 Pizza Company in Germantown is my go-to spot. You can catch